Hello and welcome back to TF1C, the Formula 1 chat. Today, we're here to talk about the Formula 3 round at the Belgian Grand Prix. Formula 3, probably the most dull Formula 3 race of the season, but we're going to review it.
I think the sprint race was probably the most dull. Round. The feature race was a bit more interesting. Yeah. Qualifying was just controversial.
Yes.
Starting with that qualifying session, obviously a late red flag stopped the laps of the likes of Oliver Behrman and Arthur Leclerc,
who would then start from 14th and 20th. Of course, a Genza. I don't know which Genza off the top of my head.
It's No, he's
in the Charusa, right?
So it could be. It's either Alatolo.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, Cohen. I was going to say. I don't think it was Cohen though.
I don't know who the other one is, to be honest.
Yeah, not a clue. But it was one of the Genzas, puts it in the wall, brings out the red flag, and puts an end to any chance of Oliver Behrman or Arthur Leclerc going faster. I do think, though, obviously, frustrations at the Genza for crashing and then ruining a lot of people's laps, but also, this is Formula 3, the team should be getting their drivers out first. But that's the really tough balance, isn't it? You go out first, you can have the worst track but the least chance of a red flag. If you go out last, you can have the best track but the highest chance of your run being ruined by a red flag. Realistically, red flag should not be a problem. You know, we shouldn't have... There's so many drivers in Formula 3 who just are not good enough. There's thousands of drivers. Surely there's thousands of drivers better than some of the drivers in Formula 3 right now. And it's just frustrating that, you know, we see these people aren't able to continue racing because of budgeting issues, but then these guys keep racing despite the fact they are not good enough, and that's ruining the racing, ruining the series for the other drivers.
Some red flags are caused by perfectly good drivers.
Of course, but
it's a big risk running last.
Yeah, it is more of a thing. Like, how many times have you seen Isaac Hadjar, Victor Martins, Ollie Behrman, Arthur Leclerc, Roman Stanek? When have they
both fought out red flag this year in quality?
Yeah, but it's not right at the end of the session. It's not for something so random. It's like he just looked at the wall and went, "I'm going to just drive into it."
Despite that, we still had a qualifying standings, and it was Zane Maloney on pole with Victor Martins on the front row. Jack Crawford took P3 with Stanek in P4. So 3 of the championship contenders going into Zandvoort in the top 4. Okay.
What, Martins, Hadjar?
No, Crawford.
Oh.
Okay. 2 of them in the top 4.
Mate. Well, Stanek wasn't really well up there. It's this weekend he managed to elevate himself into a position where the championship seems contendable.
P5 was Franco Colapinto. Great qualifying session from him. Hadjar found himself in P6. Sebastian Montoya debuting in Formula 3 this weekend.
He was good.
Qualified P7. He had a fantastic
Of course,
weekend.
the son, I believe, of Juan Pablo Montoya.
Yes.
So
he was obviously watching
strong racing heritage there. He seems a decent driver. I think it's a bit annoying for me when you have... Because he's good, Ollie Goether's good, but they've come into the championship right at the end, and they're sort of like... There's not too much point for them joining in now. They're not going to win it. They might as well wait till next season, and it is taking points away from drivers who are fighting for championships and stuff that are sat in 11th. Equally, those drivers should be beating drivers who've just joined the championship. But I do think if Montoya and Goether are both in F3 next season, that'll be exciting. You'd imagine we see Andrea Kimi Antonelli, of course, come from Italian F4.
Into the Genza. Get Alatolo out.
Yeah, they should have been in.
Is Genza bad, or are the other drivers just... Because
they're equal. I know the car isn't great, but they are equal cars, relatively. Obviously, there's differences. Trident, Prema tend to be a lot quicker in Formula 3. Formula 2 usually is Prema, so there's obviously slight differences you can have in the cars, the setups, the teams that are working on the cars, but it is a spec series. It's supposed to be a spec series. There are only little advantages here and there.
So Montoya was P7, Johnny Edgar took P8, Collette P9, O'Sullivan P10, and then your sprint race front row was Gregoire Saucy, and on your sprint race pole was Juan Manuel Correa.
Yes. On to that sprint race then.
And it was dull. It was dull as dishwater.
Didn't see an overtake after lap 1. Didn't even see a turn 1 in most other races.
Apart from the change of the lead between Collette and Correa.
Yes,
lap
but
2,
then
lap 4.
There's only out of the 5 races, the Formula 2 sprint and feature, the Formula 3 sprint and feature, and the F1.
Not many.
Only 3 pole sitters maintain their... Sorry, only 2 pole sitters. Felipe Drugovich in the Formula 2 feature and Max Verstappen in the Formula 1.
Yeah.
They're the only 2 to hold it. The other 3 all lost their pole position on the line.
Kyle Collette turned out to be the race-winning move as he took the sprint race victory.
Literally just off into the sunset for
with
Kyle
4
Collette.
seconds ahead of Juan Manuel Correa, which was great to see him back on a Formula 3 podium. O'Sullivan rounded out your podium in P3. Edgar took P4. Saucy falling back from the front row to 5th. Hadjar took 6th with Martins in 7th. Sebastian Montoya scoring points in P8.
Yeah.
Again, as we said,
That's another
weekend. Crawford took P9, and your final point scorer was Roman Stanek. Behrman and Leclerc managed to climb to 11-12, but no points for those.
Ben was 10th, wasn't he? And they lost out to Stanek. Just seemingly, him and Crawford got stuck behind Montoya. Crawford could make the move, and then Behrman got backed up into Stanek. Stanek then got that pass relatively easily because it was so closed up, but Crawford just could not make a move on Montoya.
No.
To be fair, some of the defending from Montoya was questionable at times. It was
very
aggressive.
He was a rookie.
Yeah. But I mean, he got the points and didn't get penalised. So.
Into the feature then where the big points are scored, and it was Zane Maloney who held on from his pole position. Obviously, he did lose the lead on lap 1, but eventually he got it back off Victor Martins.
Yeah, Maloney seemed really, really quick this weekend. He's put himself somewhat in championship contention, or as much in championship contention as an Arthur Leclerc is now. 24 points off our championship leader, but we'll talk about that.
But strong weekend for Maloney.
Yeah.
Victor Martins, huge result.
Which makes a difference. The last 2 rounds have been very impressive with Zane Maloney.
Yeah.
Other than when he punted Ollie Gartha into a barrier at Spa, he then went on to win the feature, didn't he? He's won the feature here.
That feature's
very impressive. Very impressive racing.
Outside shot for the championship.
What do you think he could be in Formula 2 next season?
Definitely in that Trident.
I was going to say, alongside Vershaw potentially.
Oh, yeah, it's Vershaw and
Callum Williams, that's more likely that will stick around. I don't know then. Maybe you can find a team though.
You might find somewhere. But just right, so Maloney took the win with Martins in 2nd.
If not, he'll be a good contender for next season's F2 championship.
Franco Colapinto took a podium in the feature. That was a really good result for him.
Yeah.
Roman Stanek P4. Isaac Hadjar took P5 with Crawford P6. So a lot of your championship front runners up near the sharp end of the points. Kyle Collette took P7. Sebastian Montoya again took 2 P8s this weekend. As we said, phenomenal weekend for the rookie. Johnny Edgar P9. Alexander Smolya P10.
Of course, Ollie Behrman, very strong drive to get up to P10, was then penalised for some infringement on a safety car. That was really a really weird moment where, under safety car, you looked at the pack and there was just a massive gap between Behrman and 9th, which I can't understand what was going on there. Did Behrman have some kind of problem with the car? Did he make a mistake like spin and obviously no one passed him, so that opened up the gap? What happened there? Because why would he want to create that massive gap? He wants to push forward. So I don't know what I've not seen any information as to how that occurred, but he was miles off the pack. He was penalised for a safety car infringement, dropping too far back the car ahead. So yeah, and that gave him a 20-second penalty. Post-race penalty of 20 seconds, and that demoted him from 10th to 25th.
My guess is maybe they gave 20 seconds because there was.
Well, it would be a stop and go.
Ah, okay.
But it's a bizarre moment. It's cost Behrman another point. So yeah, tough weekend for Ollie Behrman. Scores nothing.
But going into Monza finale this coming weekend. Shall I
talk about the championship as well?
Do that.
Of course. I think it is now a 2-way fight.
Yeah.
Victor Martins leads the way 126 points for the Frenchman in the ART. He has been fantastic this season, so take nothing away from him, and especially Isaac Hadjar as well. P2, 121 points. There's 5 points in it. I think it's fair that they're both going to be the championship contenders going into the final round.
They've been the 2 quickest drivers this year.
I think before Spa they were well clear of everyone. Spa was a difficult weekend for both, and Ollie Behrman was able to make up a lot of ground there. But this has kind of reset it before. I think if we have the championship standings as they were in Spa going into Monza, I'm very excited for Monza.
Yeah.
Now, a little less excited. It's not just because Behrman's not there, but I think a 5-way fight going into Monza would have been absolutely epic. We know Monza's a brilliant overtaking track. I think it's going to be a good battle. I just fear that Martins or Hadjar, I hope it's not decided by someone, messing up.
Like another red flag.
I mean, it'd be fine if Martins or Hadjar mess up. Of course, that's on them. But say they're fighting, and a lap car gets in the way, and that decides the championship, or or they get off by somewhere else. Yeah,
making
or one of them's well ahead of the other, and then they get caught up behind Chauvenet.
It will go down to the feature race, won't it? It can't be won in the sprint race.
No, don't believe so. There's
Martins
5 points gap.
2 points.
So yeah, Martins couldn't. Well, yeah,
he could take
3 points of pole, isn't it?
Two, isn't it?
But I guess so. Maybe.
I think it's 2.
Maloney finished on 28, so I imagine 3 points for pole, and then 25 points for the win.
Yeah,
so
14. So
he could
19.
take another 13, right? 10 for the win and 3 for the pole.
Oh yeah, 13. So he could open his gap to
18 points, which would then mean he'd pretty much guarantee it. He'd need to finish 6th or above.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's. So
but if he was to do that, that would be. Well,
hopefully,
either way.
Hopefully they both 1-2, and we see really good battles all around the track. Because you can overtake at Monza.
Yeah, of course there is still the outside shot that if the two of them were to come together in some circumstance, that someone like a Stanek, Veerman, Maloney or Leclerc, just 8 points separates them, that group of cars behind. If Martins and Hadjar were to come together, we would have the most insane championship battle ever.
Wow.
Especially if they'd scored more in the sprint. Because
I can see it already at the first chicane.
There's a massive gap, but if Stanek was to take 10 points on them in the sprint, he'd close up to within 2 points of Isaac Hadjar. And 7 points of Martins. So as much as it looks like it's over, it's not like the F1. We've not got one round to go. We do have 2 races. There is 38 points on offer with the 3 points for pole.
So realistically, it's still Stanek and Behrman and with all 4.
I mean, Jack Crawford in 7th could still win the championship if everyone above him didn't score and he won the sprint, the feature, and took pole.
Yeah, he could do it.
He'd win the championship by 2 points. So even if he came second in the sprint, he could still just about manage it.
Jack Crawford's going to do it.
I don't think he will. I think there's no chance all of the top 6 fail to score.
I don't know. We've seen some weird, wacky moments at Monza at Formula 3.
That would be insane if Jack Crawford was to win the championship. I hope Behrman wins it, but the 20 points could be a lot to make up. If he could win it.
For that on
of course. Friday. Join us there on Friday. I guess we'll see what happens. What we think's going to happen in that race. But yeah, that's about all for today. There's not too much else to say. Very excited for the championship. Kind of just want to get into it now. Want to be in that championship fight. Want to see what's going to happen.
It's going to be a long week waiting for Monza to come
around. Oh, is it? 4 days?
Oh, not long. Only 1 day that week.
The triple header is quite intensive in terms of just constant motorsport. But of course, I think that does make the F3 finale more exciting. I wish Formula 2 was finishing up in Monza rather than heading all the way to Abu Dhabi.
It's between Monza
and Abu Dhabi. I think we might have a championship winner anyway in Italy.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it matters.
Felipe Drugovich, if he continues on his fine form, will do very well. But anyway, yes, check out the video later. That'll be out sometime after this one. So if you have enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and of course subscribe if you're new. And as I say, look out for that video later. But I'm going to thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.